A very warm welcome to the Economic and Management Sciences pupils. In this lesson, we will discuss the factors of production. Specifically, our focus will be on natural resources. In our previous lessons, we've discussed capital factor as well as the labor factor. So this is the third factor of production known as natural resources. Let's go into our table of contents on our slides to view what we will be learning in this lesson. Okay. On our table of contents slide, in the introductory part of the lesson, I will be posing two questions. What is the first thing you think about when you hear the words plants, water, and soil? The next question, can you tell me what is natural resources? In the development phase, we will discuss the characteristics of natural resources. I have then planned a few activities based on the natural resources, and thereafter we will conclude our lesson. If we go on to the next slide, which is the introduction, this is the beginning of our lesson. So, what is the first thing you think about when you hear the words plant, water, and soil? I know the first thing I would think about is the environment and land, as well as natural resources. And can you tell me what is a natural resource? You are welcome to take as many guesses as you can. So the description of a natural resource is, natural resources include all the things that come from earth, water, or air. Nature produces things such as trees and plants, iron, ore, coal, and oil, fish, oxygen, and hydrogen. Let's go to our next slide, which is the development phase. Characteristics of natural resources. Some natural resources can be replaced while others cannot. For example, trees can be replanted, and this is known as reforestation, while coal extracted from the ground cannot be replaced once it is used. Very often, natural resources have to be processed as they cannot be used in their natural state. Different places have different kinds of natural resources. Here are some examples of natural resources. Fish from our large coastlines, water from the sea and rivers, trees from the forests or plantations that have been created, minerals such as gold, diamonds, platinum, coal, and iron ore. Agricultural products such as grapes, sugar, corn, wheat, and many others. Okay, so if you go to the next slide, it has a list of our activities and the questions that follow. So to initiate a class discussion, I shall pose a few questions. Why do you think plants are important? Very general knowledge questions here. Plants provide food, oxygen to help us breathe, Plants are used to make medicines. How do plants help animals? It feeds and shelters animals. And why is soil important? Soil contains nutrients that plants and humans need to stay alive. Soil also helps plants to retain the moisture they need to grow and thrive. Why is water important? Water is the most essential natural resource that the earth gives us. And plants, animals, as well as people would die without water. If we go on to our next slide, it's our consolidation slide or the conclusion. You need to reflect on what you have learned from this lesson. I would suggest that you draw two columns. One depicting what you already knew about this lesson, and the next column depicting what you have learned in this lesson. Also, make a note of any area that you are struggling with. You can go back to your notes and do a quick recap of it. To conclude the lesson, your task is to write one benefit of plants, a benefit of soil, and a benefit of water in your notebooks. We've already discussed this in the previous slide. I've also planned a few activity worksheets that are in the slides that follow. So let's go on to the next slide. The next slide has a worksheet. It's called Water Resources. Water is the natural resource that people use in everyday life. Look at the descriptions below and draw pictures to illustrate them. So this is a very creative exercise. So let's go on to the first block. It says agriculture or agricultural. Farmers use water to grow crops. So you need to draw a diagram, a picture that relates to that statement. Let's go to the next block, industrial. We build dams for power generation. You need to draw a picture there, maybe of dams. The next block on household. We use water for bathing every day. You need to draw probably a shower. In the next slide, in the next block, the recreation. We go sailing in the lake. So that's your recreational activities. You can draw somebody on a boat in water. If we go on to the next slide, we have another activity, very simple abstract activity on soil resources. Soil is the natural resource that helps people and animals. Below are some examples. Write down more examples and draw a picture of the one you like best. Plants get nutrients from the soil. Number 2, soil absorbs rain to prevent flooding. So you need to write down 3 other examples, as well as in the block below you need to draw a picture of the one that you like best. So which example you like best, you're welcome to draw that picture in that block. If we move on to the next slide, that's slide 10. It's a picture on plant resources. Plants are natural resources that people and animals use. Below are some examples. Write down examples and draw a picture of your favorite one. Number 1, trees provide shelter for animals. So you need to list 5 other examples. So why are plants important? And how does it help? How does it help people? What do we get from plants? So that is what you basically have to write down there. So the first one is already given to you, that trees provide shelter for animals. You could put other examples like fruits, and you can continue with that. Thereafter, you need to draw a picture of your favorite example. The last slide, your natural resources word find. This will stimulate critical thinking, and it's a very educational game. So let's go and read about it. Natural resources are non-living things from nature that are used to support life on Earth. Can you find 8 examples of natural resources in the word find below? Plants, water, air, fossil fuels, soil, and sunlight. So they've given you 6 examples of natural resources. Now they want you to find 8 examples. So you need to go and search for 2 more examples along with the 6 that's already given to you. So this concludes the lesson. I trust that you have a good day.